You were only waiting for this moment to arise. Blackbird, the Beatles, 1968 on the White Album. And at the top, you were in Radiator Springs with Our Town, James Taylor. Two very low sonic, beautiful, relaxing tunes, and really happy we got to share them with you guys. Before we got locked into the staff party and had a PTA.belter, we had some pretty healthy conversations about the type of parents we want to be and disciplining kids and how to go about it, and feeling bad for telling your kids off, but then also like, you know, they need restrictions. They need to understand, you know, consequences if they're going to function in society. And you said something that resonated with me, and that was high expectation but high caring parenting. Do you want to touch on that?
Yeah, we did. We had a fantastic convo, you, me and Nads, around the dinner table because, you know, as parents, it's so hard to parent how you want all the time. I find it very hard not to get frustrated. Your kid's just going crazy, and you know, there's definitely parent guilt where it's like you yell at your kid, or otherwise you actually don't try and you give up almost, and your kids goes up and rolled up to one of our friends last night and smacked him, you know, and runs off. And
it was me. He threw a ball at my head.
Yeah, exactly.
I told him off and he ran away.
So it's like I find it really hard to emotionally sort of be in control all the time, either in like good and bad situations, and trying to find the balance between letting your kids live their life and like make mistakes and be like themselves and not be too harsh on them and be kids and learn, as well as like actually trying to teach them, no, this is the acceptable behavior, these are the standards. And we were kind of having a great conversation about that, and I spoke about a concept that was introduced to me by a guy called, oh my God, I've literally forgotten his name. Man. Sorry, it'll cut back in right now. Glenn Stewart.
Bless
worked at West Coast for a long time. He's a very good runner. And
so he showed you this concept.
He showed me this concept. It had nothing to do with parenting, but it had to do with teaching and like caring for your younger teammates. And it was called Radical Candor.
Radical Candor.
And anyway, it's sort of come up a few times since, and it's a principle that's sort of about, how do you get people to learn things. And anyway, kind of has this 2-axis approach, and one of them is sort of care, and one of them is expectations. And, you know, the radical candor thing, that's translated into sort of parenthood, right? Like, how do you actually get the best out of your kids? And on the expectation scale, right, there's high expectations and there's low expectations. And same with care. There's low care and there's high care.
As a cross-axis.
Cross-axis, yeah. And so, you know, when you have low care, low expectations, like that's just neglectful, you know, like you're just neglecting your kid. You don't actually have expectations, you don't care about them. Like that's like the worst you can be, right? When you have high expectations and low care, like that's not being particularly good either. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's just being nasty and mean, I suppose, is how I view it. And then if your care is high, you can either have high or low expectations. High care, low expectations is sort of like permissive parenting. It's just, oh, you can just have any lolly, you can behave however you want, I just unconditionally care for you. And I think, and obviously that's what I worry about when you're trying to teach your kid, that's not particularly the best thing either. But there's this sweet spot where it's, you have high expectations or expectations at all, medium expectations, and high care. And in that zone is where you get the most growth. And I remember in his explanation, that was a sort of radical candor, like just radical candor, over the top happiness and care and teaching and learning, but also like rules and expectations and understanding. And so we were talking about our parental mistakes and what we feel bad about. And I think the sort of vibe of the conversation was, right, like as long as you really care for your kids and you love them and you have that zone of connection and care and you maintain that part, having high expectations or expectations on your kids is okay. And the whole them throwing a tantrum, you losing your shit in the shopping centre, whatever it actually is and how it materialises is okay if you have a good relationship with your child and you care for them.
Absolutely. There's this podcast I listened to by Dr. Billy Garvey called Pop Culture Parenting.
Shout out Dr. Billy Garvey. I had a session with him at Hawthorn about 6 weeks ago. He came in and presented to us.
He's
amazing.
Such an incredible person. I would love to have him on the show one day and he can run us through some things because, man, he's so intelligent. And his partner on the podcast, I'm forgetting his name, but, man, like them as a duo, it's a really good show. If you are thinking about having kids or you do have kids, I'd highly recommend that. But he talks about just having a safe space for your child to come back to. So if you lose it at them, like you're probably going to at some stage, no one's perfect. You're not going to handle every situation perfectly. As long as you can be like, hey, I'm sorry, mate, shouldn't have yelled. And you give them a space to sort of re-enter the family and the safe zone, that's the healthiest way to do it. As long as there's a route back and a route to resolution. That's what they preach.
That's what he says.
Yep.
That makes me feel very happy because, you know, you do make so many mistakes.
So many.
Like more than any other aspect of your life, I think. And it's the one thing you care the most about. And I still have that really beautiful space with my boys and I say sorry to them all the time. Sorry I got angry and sorry I did this. However, I can't protect you when you run away down the street. You know, like that's why I got mad. So I feel like it brings me peace to know that even him, Dr. Billy Garvey, like shout out, and Pop Culture Parenting, you got to check it out. If he's saying that brings me peace because, you know, you make so many mistakes, but having that space where you can come back, hug, re-enter the family is so important. And it's something even as we discussed, you know, maybe did or didn't go down in certain aspects of our childhood. You know, I sort of remember I was saying to you that when I used to get in lots of trouble when I was younger, and I won't go into the details. You know, the thing that actually only ever changed my behaviour was when my old man was like seething, like he was just filthy at me. And I'm not talking 2 and 4 like my kids. I'm 14.
Yeah.
He's put all this time and effort into giving me the opportunities that I can have going to a private school. We were very middle class and he sacrificed and him and mum worked really hard to give us those opportunities. And he used to just get so mad that he just couldn't help but ignore me. Like he just couldn't even look at me. And it definitely changed my behaviour and helped me to like understand that was a big deal. And he always gave me a space to come back. But sort of on reflection, it was probably made me a little bit fear driven in that sense where it was like, oh, the actual thing is about not wanting to let my dad down. And you were saying that with your old man.
My old man would like flip his lid and Chris, you are the best. I love you. Happy birthday. My old man would flip it at like leaving the aircon on, door open, like light on in the car. Oh, that's not that small. I'd leave like keys in the front door.
Ooh. Just
forget. That's actually probably a big one. That's like, you know, robbers and that.
Robbers? No, that's just people who are allowed to come in. Robbers, that's just called.
That's an open invite.
Yeah, that's just
for anyone to take my mum's belongings. Light on, like leaving food out, leaving food too long in the fridge, all these things, not cleaning up after yourself. Like he would fucking flip it, man, like an old Macedonian. But like crash your car or get in trouble or get in a fight, just so calm, had my back, made me feel so comfortable, like, and I didn't get it. And I brought it up with him not long ago. I was just like, man, you'd fucking lose it at me for leaving the light on. But when I crashed my car that day, you were like, all good, mistakes happen. You patted me on the back when we had a beer. I was like, why? And he was just like, well, you need to do the simple things. Like they're easy. You have to get that right. But the hard stuff, like that's actually hard and you need help there.
No.
I was like, I got to protect you. But the easy stuff, it's just like, just fucking do it. He was actually getting angry in that moment, thinking about me leaving the light on.
Thinking about all the stuff that got stolen out of the house that day when you left the keys in there.
No. I've left keys in the front door like multiple times, open up.
Yeah, see, that's silly as. I would be mad about that too. But more to the point, like, I think it's a good conversation to have, and I think it's good for us to talk about because, like, I certainly feel very imperfect as a parent, very like, damn, regretful about lots of stuff. But I feel like if that's you as well, it all just gets back to care and love and having a good relationship with your kid and apologising to them, saying, hey, I'm imperfect too. I actually made a mistake there. Give me a hug. Do you love me? And I'm glad that if that's the secret sauce, then everything's going to be all good.
And that's not making them like people pleasers either and like feeling like they have to, you know, mend relationships with their parents as kids. It's like a very damaging thing. But if you're like, hey, dude, love you, mate. And that's for any relationship. That's not just for like parents, right? That's just like you and Nads, me and you, if we have a disagreement at the staff party, right, about if we should start a band or not.
About the Caravan of Love.
Oh, it's, yeah.
Song ever that on this show.
Like, it's the safe space and it's just be like, I'm sorry for the way I acted and accountability. And it's just like, cool, no stress, man. Just quickly on that, what Tom said, there's this track, The Caravan of Love by an artist, I'm forgetting the name. I'll find Tom will bring it up. Mitch Benson showed it to me. We were having pizza on our birthday and it came on and I was like, that's a really beautiful song. I quite like it. Like an a cappella, 60s West Coasty rock kind of joint. And Tom thinks it's the worst song of all time. Caravan of Love by the House Martins.
The House Martins, yeah. And no offense to the House Martins. Obviously, it's a good song, but it's just so not what I want to hear in the season.
Ever, apparently. It's like 3 different scenarios I've tried to show you this track.
We have. And
I don't think we'll even play it right now.
No, we won't play it. Absolutely not. We're going to take a U-turn off this kind of very slow start to this PTA episode. We're going to start getting a little bit more contemporary. We've had James Taylor and the Beatles and, you know, lots of very low-key stuff.
Do you want to get into some of that R&B trip-hoppy stuff you've been listening to?
Yeah, sure. Take a little pivot right now.
Absolutely. All right, we'll see you in a bit.